Hello, my name is Showa and I'm a sci-fi rook player, as usual. In my last video, I roughly explained how to play Static Rook and Snowroof. If you haven't watched it yet, please watch that one. But today, I'm gonna focus on Snowroof and let me explain specific information about Snowroof. It will be a little bit difficult, I understand that. But if you watch this video until the end, you'll be an expert or professional about Snowroof. I hope you enjoy watching. Let's review first. Snowroof or Gangi in Japanese is a castle that is mostly used by both you and your opponent or static rook players, which is double static rook. It is very different from Yagura. The good thing about Snowroof is that you can use your bishop to attack. Alright, let's get started. First thing first, look at this board. Here's a basic question. Pretend your opponent plays Snowroof. Which piece would you have, bishop or rook? Answer it in 10 seconds. So you can have either bishop or rook, but not both. So which one? So the answer is rook. If you have rook, you can drop here and this is check. Pretend your opponent has no pieces. To prevent check, he can either escape or move gold. If he moves king, takes a knight by rook. And your rook or dragon is really close to his king, so the opponent is in danger. Even if he moves gold, takes a knight by rook. Next, you can drop knight here, and his gold will be taken because if he escape, you can take his king. In short, if you have rook, it's easier to attack Snowroof. On the other hand, it's harder to attack Snowroof if you just have bishop. It's pretty simple. Don't you think so? Now you know the basic things about Snowroof. So let's move on to the advanced level. First thing first, let me just say this. Depending on your opponent's formation, your formation can vary or change. To be more specific, there are 3 kinds of formations. This is the first one. So the opponent's formation is silver to 6-2 and pawn to 7-4. This is the second one. So the opponent's formation is pawn to 5-4, silver to 6-2, and bishop to 3-1. This is the third one. So the opponent's formation is pawn to 5-4 and silver to 5-3. Just take a look to see the differences between these 3. Alright, so let's see each one of these. So the first one is pawn to 7-4 and silver to 7-3. So the best move is silver to 3-8. What's the purpose of this? To be honest with you, I've already explained this in my last video, so if you haven't watched it yet, please watch that one. Move on to the second one, which is pawn to 5-4 and bishop to 3-1. Even though I was Gote, for convenience, the board is reversed, and I will read shogi symbols from Gote's view. This was my actual game and it went like this. So here we have bishop to 3-1 and pawn to 3-6. Although pawn to 3-6 seems to me normal, it was not good. Why was it questionable? Well, it's because he can move bishop to 6-4, then silver to 3-7, and my game went like this. I decided to exchange my pawn, but pawn to h6 was perfect timing. Then capture, 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 drop, and rook to h5. The amazing thing about this move is that he can capture my pawn next. I can just move silver to 2-6, but bishop to 2-7. Then knight to 7-7, rook to 4-5, silver to 3-7, bishop to 3-8 promote, capture promote, and I lost. Again, it's so easy to attack the Snowroof castle if there is a dragon. Therefore, I had to move pawn to 4-6 instead of pawn to 3-6. Let's take a look to see another example. For convenience, the board is reversed and I will read shock symbols from Gote's view. My game went like this. Here we have bishop to 3-1 and silver to 5-6. To be honest, silver to 5-6 was not good. Why was it questionable? Silver to 5-6 was neither a really bad move nor a losing move, but if I do this, I can no longer move pawn to 5-6, right? This means that it would not be a really good idea to decide the formation. Therefore, I should wait for him. More specifically, king to 7-9. If he moves pawn to h6, then capture, 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 drop, escape, and I can now or later move rook to 2-9. This is a balanced formation because the opponent could not drop bishop anywhere. Alright, let's go back. Now, what if he moves pawn to 5-4 and he also waits for me to decide the formation? Well, if he does that, then pawn to 9-6. Of course, he will move pawn to 9-4. And it's now my turn. What should I move? Well, this will be the hardest part, but also really significant. I can now move silver to 5-6. You'll be like, what? Are you kidding me? You told me that silver to 5-6 was not good. At this time, silver to 5-6 is a good move. Let's see why. First thing first, to know the hint, let's see how my actual game went. My game went like this. So here we have bishop capture 7-5 and pawn to 6-5. But actually, pawn to 6-5 was not good because of pawn to h6. Then capture, capture, bishop to 6-6. Now you'll be surprised. Bishop to 7-5. Capture, capture. At this time, goes to 7-9 would not be a good move because dragon capture 9-9 would be no problem for the opponent. So pawn to 7-9, but pawn to 7-7. Then bishop to h6, and this is a threat mate by moving bishop. So pawn capture, silver capture, dragon capture, bishop capture, and next move will also surprise you. Gold, drop, 4-1. Then bishop to 7-7, pawn to 7-6, bishop to 8-8, and pawn to 3-5. If captured, knight to 3-6. You know, too high level. So now let's go back. I assume you got a hint or at least some ideas about why silver to 5-6 is good at this point. If he moves pawn to 7-5, then capture, capture, and now I can move pawn to 6-5. Why? It's because if pawn to 8-6, then capture, capture, and now I can move bishop to 6-6, and he could not move bishop to 7-5 because I can just take this. Also, he could not move bishop to 9-5 because due to pawn to 9-6. Doesn't make sense? I hope it does. Now move on to the third one, which is pawn to 5-4 and silver to 5-3. This was my actual game, and it went like this. So here we have king to 4-2 and king to 6-9. But actually, king to 6-9 was not good. It seems to be normal. Why was it questionable? Well, think about it logically. First thing first, let's predict what the opponent will move next. He will 90% move king to 3-2. Why? It's because without king to 3-2, he could not use his bishop. More specifically, king to 3-2, bishop to 3-1, and silver to 6-4. In other words, he has to move king to 3-2, right? Therefore, I can move pawn to 3-6 instead of king to 6-9 because second file is really close to his king. For example, pawn to 3-6, king to 3-2, pawn to 2-5, and I will attack like this. Therefore, castling would not be the best option at this time. My actual game went like this. So here we have gold to 5-2 and pawn to 4-6. But pawn to 4-6 was not good. There was a better move, which is pawn to 5-6. Why was it better? Well, it's because he will definitely move pawn to 7-4 and pawn to 7-5 next. More specifically, pawn to 7-4, silver to 5-7. And if pawn to 7-5, then pawn to 6-5, and if captured, pawn captures 7-5, and his silver will be taken. So if bishop to 3-1 instead of pawn to 7-5, then bishop to 5-9, pawn to 7-5, bishop to 3-7, and if silver moves, his rook will be taken by my bishop. In summary, if the opponent's formation is silver to 6-2 and pawn to 7-4, move silver to 3-8. If his formation is pawn to 5-4 and bishop to 3-1, move pawn to 4-6, but think about the timing for silver to 5-6. If his formation is pawn to 5-4 and silver to 5-3, move pawn to 3-6, or move pawn to 5-6. Last but not least, for review, think about what you should move next. silver to 5-6, or king to 7-9. If you like this video, please subscribe and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching and see you again.